Hi, my name is Sarah Cho, and my end of the semester project will cover Ralph Ellison's Invisible Man novel. I will first cover plot, and I will also intertwine themes that occur in different situations within the story. Starting off with the prologue, the quote that stood out to me the most was the invisibility to which I refer occurs because of a particular disposition of the eyes of those whom I come in contact. This quote pretty much is talking about how the narrator, who isn't named throughout the entire novel, he isn't physically invisible. However, he is invisible in the eyes of the community and in society in general. And so this quote will later be understood as I talk about the entire novel. So starting with chapter 1. Chapter 1 covers the narrator as a child and how he is a very good speech giver. So at his school, he is awarded with the opportunity to speak in front of the white authoritative figures in his community. And so he takes this opportunity and he goes. However, when he gets there, he is tricked. There's a boxing ring and a lot of African American boys were there, and they were to have a battle royale. And that means that they were to fight one another until two were left, and they would fight till there was a winner. So basically, the narrator was one of the last two people who were there. He faced off a big man, as you can see on the screen. And so in the end, the narrator is knocked down. He is very hurt and injured. And so pretty much all the African American boys, including the narrator, will receive some kind of money prize. However, African American boys and also the narrator were later to find out that the money is sprawled out on a carpet. There are gold coins, there is dollar bills, and just a lot of different kinds of currency. And so the white authoritative figures, they just tell the African American boys to just go and grab your compensation. And the quote that I grabbed from this chapter was, "Get the money, that's good hard American cash." And so this quote is significant because it basically shows how the white authoritative figures think that they are better than the African American boys. Kind of saying, go and get what I have a lot of, pretty much. And so this, in the scene, it shows white superiority and how the white authoritative figures have more power and are seen as superior over African American black people. And then in going to chapter 3, just a little recap on chapter 2. So the narrator is in college now. In the screen, he is with Mr. Norton, who is a founder of the college that the narrator goes to. And the narrator is the chauffeur for Mr. Norton. And Mr. Norton, he became very drunk and disorderly. And so the narrator is just driving him around, and he takes him to a bar called Golden Day. And Golden Day is a bar for it is a majority of black people there. And so when Mr. Norton and the narrator get there, the men at the bar, the African American men there, they get very angry and frustrated because of the relationship that Mr. Norton and the narrator have. And so the theme of race relations is seen in this event, where the narrator is black and is supposed to be inferior to white men and just white people in general. And so in this case, the Black community, they're just very upset because how can the narrator, being inferior to Mr. Norton, bring a white man into the Black community where Mr. Norton, they thought, could just control them, basically. And so, um, in this instant, the narrator is seen as colorblind to race because he doesn't understand just the social barrier between whites and blacks. Um, and so this is a quote that I pulled out from chapter 3 that says, "But seriously, because you both fail to understand what is happening to you. To you, he is a mark on your scorecard of your achievement, a thing and not a man." And so basically, the man who is saying this is saying that the narrator is an object for Mr. Norton, and that there's always going to be a social barrier. There's no equality among the narrator and Mr. Norton, even though the narrator may think that they're equal. And so moving on to chapter 6. Chapter 6, just a little recap right before it. Chapter 6 is right before Bledsoe talks to the narrator. He talks to Mr. Norton saying, why did you go to this bar with the narrator? And so Mr. Bledsoe is just so upset. He calls the narrator into his office and talks to him. And he says, "I understand that you not only carried Mr. Norton out to the quarters, but that you would go to the sinkhole." There's a typo in the screen. That golden day. And so basically this quote is saying, I can't believe you took Mr. Norton, one of the founders of the college, to this sinkhole, this rugged place that he shouldn't be going to. And so it's basically saying that the African American society and community are just inferior to the white society. And so later on, Bledsoe, he then kind of changes his personality when he says, "Go get your bags and return here in 30 minutes. My secretary will give you some letters addressed to several friends of the school." So basically, these letters are recommendation letters for the narrator to go up to New York and find a job and to kind of change his life so it can be like more prosperous. The narrator then like responds with, "Thanks, sir. Thank you very much." And so just through these quotes, the narrator is very grateful for this opportunity. However, he doesn't know what will happen in the later chapters of the book. So in chapter 7, when the narrator gets to New York, he meets this character called Crenshaw, and this character says, "For God's sake, learn to look beneath the surface. Come out of the fog, young man, and remember you don't have to be a complete fool in order to succeed." And so this is a quote that really stands out to the narrator, and how it kind of tells the narrator that you need to look at reality face to face to understand just the hardships and struggles and just inequalities of life. And so it's in a sense, it's his first exposure to inequality between blacks and whites in society. So later on, in chapter 8 and 9, the narrator has already gone to most of the places that Bledsoe told him to go to give recommendation letters to. However, the places that he's visited, the people that he's given the recommendation letters to, they haven't responded to the narrator yet. And so the narrator is at his final location, and he gives the recommendation letter to Mr. Emerson's son. And so this is when the first known betrayal occurs to the narrator. And so the theme of betrayal occurs in this situation event because Mr. Emerson tells the narrator that he has been tricked and he's been betrayed by Bledsoe. Um, and so he's been tricked and betrayed because Bledsoe wrote in each recommendation letter that that the narrator was he was lazy, that he was vain hopes while remaining as far from the college as he can. And so basically, Bledsoe was setting him up to be a failure in New York, and that he wouldn't go back to the college. And so this is where he gets betrayed because he trusted Bledsoe. He was so thankful in the previous slides, saying thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. However, he was backstabbed, and this is where he is betrayed first. However, he meets Mr. Emerson's son, and Mr. Emerson's son feels compassionate for the narrator, so he finds a job for him at um at Liberty Paint Plant, where the narrator will later work. And and please watch my next video to finish up this presentation. Thank you.